Your emotions are controlling your life, and that is why you are stuck. A Stoic man controls himself before he controls the world. Subscribe if you are ready to master your mind. The invisible battle inside your mind. Every day, an invisible battle is happening inside your mind. Most people never realize it. They wake up, check their phones, react to messages, worry about problems, and carry emotions that slowly control their entire day. Anger from a comment, stress from work, fear about the future. These emotions quietly take control of decisions, reactions, and focus. And without realizing it, many people become prisoners of their own emotions. A small criticism ruins their confidence. A small failure destroys their motivation. A moment of pressure makes them lose discipline. But centuries ago, a group of thinkers understood something most people still fail to see. True power does not come from controlling the world, it comes from controlling yourself. These thinkers were known as the Stoics. They were not weak philosophers sitting quietly in libraries. Many of them were warriors, leaders, emperors, and advisors who faced chaos, war, betrayal, and pressure every single day. Yet they developed a mindset so powerful that nothing outside of them could easily break their focus. One of them was a powerful Roman emperor named Marcus Aurelius. Despite leading one of the largest empires in history, his greatest battle was not against enemies on the battlefield. His greatest battle was against his own mind. He wrote something that would echo through time. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This simple idea hides an extraordinary truth. Most suffering does not come from what happens to us, it comes from how we react to what happens. Two people can face the same failure. One becomes bitter and angry, the other becomes stronger and wiser. The difference is not the event, the difference is emotional control. But mastering emotions is not easy. Your brain is naturally wired to react. When someone insults you, anger appears instantly. When something goes wrong, frustration rises. When uncertainty appears, fear slowly enters your thoughts. These reactions feel automatic. And that is exactly why most people never learn to control them. They believe emotions control them. But Stoic thinkers believed something completely different. They believed emotions are signals, not masters. And once you learn how to observe those signals instead of obeying them, something powerful begins to happen inside your mind. Your reactions slow down, your thoughts become clearer, your discipline becomes stronger. Instead of reacting impulsively, you begin to respond deliberately. Imagine someone criticizes you harshly. Most people react immediately. Their pride feels attacked. Their emotions explode. But a Stoic mind pauses. It observes the situation. It asks one simple question: is this within my control? That single moment of awareness changes everything. Because if something is not within your control, emotional reaction becomes useless. Anger cannot change it. Worry cannot solve it. Fear cannot improve it. And slowly, something incredible begins to grow inside the mind of someone who practices this discipline. Calmness, not weakness. Calm strength. The kind of strength that allows a person to remain steady while others lose control. But this level of emotional control does not appear overnight. It requires training, mental training. The same way a warrior trains his body, a Stoic trains the mind every single day, observing thoughts, questioning emotional reactions, strengthening focus. And the deeper someone goes into this practice, the more they begin to notice something surprising. Most emotional chaos in life is unnecessary. It is created by uncontrolled reactions. reactions that can be mastered, but there is one moment in every person's life where this discipline is tested harder than ever before. A moment where pressure builds from every direction. A moment where emotions try to take control completely. And in that moment, the difference between an ordinary mind and a Stoic mind becomes impossible to ignore, because that moment reveals who truly controls the mind and who is controlled by it. The story of emotional mastery truly begins when the pressure becomes real, the first test of emotional discipline. Pressure rarely announces its arrival. It appears quietly, often during an ordinary moment, a message that changes your mood, a mistake that ruins your plan, a criticism that strikes your pride, and suddenly the mind begins to react. Your heartbeat rises, your thoughts become louder, emotions start to take control. For most people, this reaction feels completely natural, but for someone training the Stoic mind, this moment is the first test. Because Stoic discipline begins with one simple skill: the ability to pause, not react immediately, not allow the first emotion to take command, just pause. This small pause may only last a few seconds, but within those seconds, something powerful begins to happen. Instead of being carried away by emotion, the mind starts to observe it. A wave of anger appears. Instead of obeying it, you notice it. Frustration enters your thoughts. Instead of reacting, you watch it. Fear begins whispering inside your mind. Instead of believing it, you examine it. This is the first layer of emotional mastery. Awareness. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to do this constantly. Even as an emperor surrounded by political conflict, betrayal, and pressure, he wrote reminders to himself. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, you will meet people who are selfish, ignorant, arrogant, and impatient, but they cannot harm your mind unless you allow them to. This mindset prepared him for reality, because life does not remove difficult people. It does not remove criticism. It does not remove failure. What it offers instead is the opportunity to strengthen your mind through them. Most people spend their energy trying to control everything around them. They want perfect situations, perfect people, perfect outcomes. But Stoic thinkers understood something deeper. Trying to control the uncontrollable creates endless frustration. The real power lies somewhere else. Control what you can: your thoughts, your reactions, your discipline, your focus. Everything else becomes background noise. But learning this truth requires facing uncomfortable moments. Moments when emotions feel stronger than logic. Imagine working hard on something important. You invest time, effort, and focus. Then suddenly someone criticizes it, not politely, but harshly. Your mind instantly creates a reaction. Anger appears, defensiveness rises. Your thoughts begin forming arguments and responses. Most people react immediately. They argue, they defend themselves, they attack back. But a Stoic mind does something different. It pauses. It observes the emotional reaction like a storm passing through the sky. The emotion feels strong, but it is temporary, and once that emotional storm begins to calm, clarity slowly returns. Then the mind asks a powerful question: is there truth in the criticism? If there is truth, improvement becomes possible. If there is no truth, emotional reaction becomes unnecessary. Either way, emotional control wins. But mastering this response takes time, because the human mind loves quick reactions. It loves immediate emotional expression. Social media amplifies this behavior every day. Instant opinions, instant anger, instant arguments. People react faster than they think. But the Stoic mind becomes stronger Precisely because it slows down, it refuses to react immediately. It waits, it observes, it thinks. And through this process, something remarkable begins to develop: emotional independence. A person who masters emotional control no longer depends on external approval to remain calm. Praise does not inflate the ego. Criticism does not destroy confidence. The mind remains balanced. But the deeper someone practices this discipline, the more intense the tests become. Because life always increases the pressure. Situations become more complicated, challenges become more demanding. And eventually there comes a moment where the mind is pushed to its limit, a moment where emotions rise stronger than ever before. And in that moment, the mind must decide: react like everyone else or remain calm like a Stoic. When emotions try to take control. There comes a moment in every life when pressure becomes unavoidable. Not small irritation, not minor inconvenience, real pressure. The kind that tightens the chest and fills the mind with restless thoughts. It might begin with a sudden problem, a mistake that cannot be undone, a situation that feels unfair. At first, the mind tries to stay calm, but slowly, emotions begin to rise. Frustration whispers that something is wrong. Anger suggests someone must be blamed. Fear quietly predicts that things will only become worse. Inside the mind, these voices begin competing for attention. And if the mind is untrained, one of them quickly takes control. A careless reaction appears, a harsh word is spoken, a decision is made too quickly, and later, regret follows. This cycle repeats itself for millions of people every day. They react first, they think later. But the Stoic mind begins to notice something important about this emotional storm. Emotions arrive suddenly, but they do not last forever. Like clouds passing through the sky, they move across the mind and eventually fade. Yet when people react instantly, they allow temporary emotions to create permanent consequences. One angry response can damage a relationship.
One emotional decision can destroy months of progress. One moment of lost discipline can undo years of effort. This is why Stoic thinkers trained themselves to recognize the moment emotions begin rising, not after the reaction, but before it. The earliest signal often appears inside the body: a faster heartbeat, tight shoulders, restless thoughts repeating the same problem again and again. These are warning signs, signals that emotions are trying to take command. And when someone becomes aware of these signals, the mind gains a brief but powerful opportunity: the opportunity to slow down. A Stoic mind does not deny emotions. It does not pretend anger or fear do not exist. Instead, it observes them carefully. Anger appears. The mind says, "I see you." Frustration rises. The mind says, "I recognize this feeling." Fear whispers doubt. The mind listens without surrendering control. This simple awareness creates distance between the emotion and the decision. Without that distance, emotions become the leader. With that distance, reason returns. But the most difficult part of emotional mastery is not observing emotions. It is resisting the urge to act on them immediately. The urge can feel powerful, sometimes overwhelming. The mind wants instant release. It wants to say something sharp. It wants to react quickly. It wants to prove something. But Stoic discipline teaches a different response. Delay the reaction. Even a short delay can change everything. A few breaths, a moment of silence, a brief walk away from the situation. During this pause, the emotional wave begins losing its strength. Clarity slowly returns, and the mind starts seeing the situation differently. What once felt like an attack may simply be someone's frustration. What once felt like failure may simply be a temporary obstacle. What once felt like disaster may actually be a lesson in disguise. But this transformation only becomes possible when emotions are not allowed to take immediate control. Many Stoic teachers believed this was one of the most powerful skills a person could develop. Not intelligence, not strength, but emotional restraint. the ability to feel deeply without reacting recklessly, the ability to experience pressure without losing discipline. And as someone practices this skill repeatedly, something surprising begins to happen. Situations that once caused intense reactions begin losing their power. Criticism feels less threatening, unexpected problems feel less overwhelming, even failure begins to feel different, not like defeat, but like information. Yet life always presents one moment where this training faces its greatest challenge, a moment when emotions rise higher than ever before, a moment when the mind is tempted to abandon discipline completely. And when that moment arrives, the battle inside the mind becomes impossible to ignore. Because in that moment, emotional control stops being theory. It becomes survival, the discipline of the quiet mind. As emotional storms appear again and again, something slowly changes inside the mind of a person who practices Stoic discipline. At first, the reaction still feels strong. Anger still appears. Frustration still rises. Fear still whispers inside the mind. But something else begins to grow alongside those emotions. Control. Not control over the world, control over the response. The Stoics understood that the mind is like a city. If the gates are left open, anything can enter. Noise, fear, anger, distraction. But if the gates are guarded carefully, only what is useful is allowed inside. This is the discipline of the quiet mind. A quiet mind does not mean a mind without thoughts. It means a mind that is not overwhelmed by them. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through the human mind. Some are helpful, some are destructive, but most people never question them. If a thought appears, they believe it. If an emotion rises, they follow it. The Stoic mind behaves differently. It examines thoughts before accepting them. A negative thought appears. The mind asks, is this useful? A fearful prediction appears. The mind asks, is this real or imagined? An insult is heard. The mind asks, does this truly define me? This habit of questioning thoughts slowly builds something powerful, mental clarity. And with clarity comes discipline. Because discipline is not only about forcing yourself to work harder. True discipline begins in the mind. It is the ability to direct attention where it truly matters. Many people lose discipline not because they are weak, but because their attention is constantly stolen. Notifications, arguments, distractions, endless streams of information competing for attention. Every distraction weakens focus. Every emotional reaction drains mental energy. But the Stoic mind learns to protect attention like a valuable resource. It does not chase every argument. It does not react to every insult. It does not follow every emotional impulse. Instead, it returns again and again to what truly matters. Purpose, focus, action. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of this every morning. He wrote that people waste time worrying about what others are doing, instead of focusing on their own actions. This simple realization reveals something many people ignore. Your life moves in the direction of your attention. If your attention is controlled by emotions, your life becomes unstable. If your attention is guided by discipline, your life becomes powerful. But protecting attention requires constant effort, because the world constantly tries to pull your focus away. There will always be people seeking reactions. There will always be situations designed to trigger emotions. There will always be voices trying to distract you from your path. And this is where the quiet mind becomes strongest. Instead of reacting to everything, it chooses carefully what deserves attention. Imagine a calm lake. When the water is still, the surface reflects everything clearly. But when the water is disturbed, the reflection disappears. The mind works the same way. When emotions constantly disturb it, clarity vanishes. Decisions become rushed. Focus disappears. Energy is wasted. But when the mind becomes quiet and disciplined, something powerful happens. Thoughts become sharper. Decisions become wiser. Actions become more precise. And slowly, the person who once struggled with emotional reactions begins to feel something new, inner stability. Not because life becomes easier, but because the mind becomes stronger. Yet the journey toward complete emotional mastery is not peaceful all the time. Sometimes the mind must face moments that test everything it has learned. Moments when pressure rises suddenly. Moments when discipline feels difficult to maintain. Moments when the quiet mind is surrounded by chaos. And in those moments, the true strength of Stoic control begins to reveal itself, the moment of pressure. Life has a way of testing discipline when it matters the most, not during calm days, not during quiet moments, but during the exact moment when everything feels unstable. It often begins without warning. A serious mistake appears at work. A plan that took months suddenly falls apart. Someone you trusted turns against you. In a single moment, pressure begins building from every direction. Thoughts race faster. The mind searches for answers, but emotions begin speaking louder than logic. Anger suggests retaliation. Fear predicts failure. Frustration demands immediate action. Inside the mind, chaos grows quickly. This is the moment when most people lose control. They speak too quickly. They react too harshly. They make decisions driven by emotion instead of clarity. Later, when the emotional storm fades, they see the damage. But the Stoic mind treats this moment differently, not as a disaster, but as a test of discipline, a test of emotional control. Because pressure reveals what the mind has truly learned. In that moment, the Stoic remembers something important. The situation may be outside control, but the response is not. Instead of reacting instantly, the Stoic mind becomes still. Breathing slows, thoughts begin organizing themselves, and the mind focuses on a single idea. Stay calm. Calmness during pressure is not weakness, it is power. Because when the mind remains calm, it continues to see clearly. While others panic, clarity becomes an advantage. Imagine two people facing the same crisis. One reacts emotionally. Their mind becomes overwhelmed. Their decisions become rushed. Their actions become unpredictable. The other remains calm. They observe the situation carefully. They think before acting. They focus on solutions instead of blame. Over time, the difference becomes enormous. One creates more chaos, the other creates progress. This is why Stoic thinkers believed emotional discipline creates a powerful form of leadership. A leader who loses emotional control spreads panic. A leader who remains calm spreads stability. But calmness under pressure is not natural. It is trained. Every moment of emotional restraint strengthens this ability. Every moment of delayed reaction builds greater control. Every time the mind chooses discipline over impulse, it becomes stronger. And slowly, something remarkable happens. Situations that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Not because problems disappear, but because the mind becomes capable of handling them. Yet there is always one deeper layer of emotional mastery waiting ahead. Because controlling emotions during obvious problems is only the beginning. The real challenge appears during moments when emotions feel completely justified. Moments when anger feels right, moments when reacting feels deserved, moments when almost everyone around you is reacting emotionally. And in those moments, the temptation to abandon discipline becomes stronger than ever before. That is when the true power of Stoic control is tested, not in calm moments, but in the middle of chaos, the temptation to react. There are moments in life when emotional reactions feel completely justified. Someone insults you publicly. Someone spreads false information about you. Someone disrespects the effort you worked so hard to build. In moments like this, the mind immediately begins creating a response. Anger feels natural. Defending yourself feels necessary. Reacting feels right. And in many situations, almost everyone around you will react emotionally. Voices become louder, arguments grow stronger, tension spreads quickly. The pressure to react becomes powerful because human instinct pushes toward immediate defense. But the Stoic mind recognizes something most people overlook. Not every reaction deserves a response. Sometimes reacting only feeds the chaos. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself of a powerful idea. The best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the harm. This does not mean accepting injustice or weakness. It means refusing to allow another person's behavior to control your mind. Imagine someone trying to provoke you. They insult you, they challenge your pride, they hope you react emotionally, because the moment you react, they gain control over your attention, they gain control over your emotions. But when the mind remains calm, something unexpected happens. The conflict loses energy, the provocation loses power, because it requires your emotional reaction to survive. This is why Stoic discipline often feels quiet. It is not dramatic, it is not loud, It is controlled strength, the strength to stay composed when others lose control. Yet this strength can feel difficult in the moment. The urge to react does not disappear easily. It pushes harder. Thoughts appear quickly. You should answer them. You should prove them wrong. You should defend your pride. These thoughts can feel convincing, but the Stoic mind pauses once again. It examines the situation carefully. What outcome will emotional reaction create? Will it solve the problem, or will it create a larger one? Most emotional reactions are designed to release tension, not to produce solutions. And once this truth becomes clear, discipline begins guiding the response. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Sometimes the strongest response is patience. Sometimes the strongest response is simply continuing forward without giving attention to the provocation. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing actions wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Because every reaction carries consequences. Words spoken in anger cannot be returned. Actions taken in frustration cannot be undone. Decisions made in emotional chaos often lead to regret. But decisions made in calm awareness create control, and control creates power. Over time, the person practicing this discipline begins to notice something surprising. Situations that once triggered emotional reactions no longer feel as powerful. Insults feel smaller, arguments feel unnecessary, provocations feel predictable. The mind begins to see these moments clearly, not as personal attacks, but as tests of discipline. And with every test passed, emotional strength grows. But there is still one final transformation waiting for the Stoic mind, a transformation that changes not only reactions, but identity itself. Because at a certain point, emotional control stops being something you practice. It becomes something you are. And when that moment arrives, the mind becomes nearly impossible to shake. The birth of unbreakable discipline. There comes a stage in the journey where emotional control stops feeling like constant effort. In the beginning, discipline requires struggle. You remind yourself to stay calm. You force yourself not to react. You hold your emotions back with conscious effort. The mind feels like a battlefield, reason on one side, emotion on the other. But with time and repetition, something begins to change. The reactions that once felt automatic begin to slow down naturally. The anger that once exploded instantly now appears softer. The frustration that once dominated your thoughts begins losing its power. And gradually the mind develops a new foundation. Discipline becomes natural. This transformation does not happen suddenly. It grows through hundreds of small moments. Moments when you chose silence instead of argument. Moments when you chose patience instead of anger. Moments when you chose focus instead of distraction. Each moment strengthens the mind, like a muscle growing stronger through repeated training. The Stoics believed this process slowly shapes a person's character. Because character is not built in dramatic moments, it is built through consistent decisions. Every reaction you control strengthens your identity. Every emotional impulse you resist sharpens your discipline. And slowly a powerful mindset begins to form. A mindset that no longer depends on circumstances to remain stable. Praise does not create arrogance. Criticism does not create insecurity. Success does not create arrogance. Failure does not destroy confidence. Instead, the mind remains steady. This is what Stoic thinkers described as inner strength, not loud confidence, not emotional excitement, but deep stability. A person with this stability becomes difficult to disturb. When problems appear, they analyze them calmly. When opportunities appear, they approach them with focus. When pressure appears, they remain steady. This mindset produces something even more valuable than emotional control. It produces consistency. Consistency in action, consistency in discipline, consistency in progress. Many people start with motivation, but motivation is unstable. It rises and falls depending on mood. Discipline behaves differently. Discipline continues working even when emotions are quiet, even when motivation disappears, even when the path becomes difficult. This is why Stoic philosophy values discipline more than inspiration. Because inspiration is temporary, discipline is reliable. Imagine someone who wakes up every day with a clear mind. They do not allow emotions to control their actions. They do not chase distractions. They focus on what must be done. Day after day, their actions build progress. While others are reacting to emotions, this person is moving forward. While others lose focus, this person strengthens it. And over time, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. What once felt difficult now feels natural. What once required effort now feels automatic. The mind has become trained, but even a disciplined mind eventually faces a defining moment. A moment when everything that has been learned must be used at once. A moment when pressure rises higher than ever before. A moment when the mind must remain steady while everything around it becomes unstable. And when that moment arrives, the true strength of Stoic mastery reveals itself completely. The storm that tests the mind. There are moments when life gathers every challenge at once, not slowly, not gently, but suddenly. A problem appears where you least expect it. Plans begin collapsing, pressure builds from every direction. In those moments, the mind feels surrounded. Deadlines tighten, criticism grows louder, uncertainty spreads through every thought. For an untrained mind, this situation feels overwhelming. Emotions rush in like a storm. Fear predicts failure. Frustration demands quick action. Anger searches for someone to blame. The storm inside the mind becomes as loud as the storm outside. And many people surrender to that storm. They rush decisions, they react emotionally, they allow panic to lead their actions. But the Stoic mind behaves differently, not because the pressure disappears, but because the mind has been trained for this exact moment. Instead of rushing into reaction, the Stoic mind becomes still. Breathing slows, thoughts begin organizing themselves. The situation is observed clearly. The mind separates two powerful truths: what can be controlled and what cannot. This separation immediately removes half the chaos, because most anxiety is created by trying to control what is impossible to control. Other people's opinions, unexpected events, past mistakes, none of these can be changed in the present moment. Once the mind releases those burdens, attention shifts to what remains. Action. Clear action. The Stoic mind does not waste energy fighting reality. It accepts the situation as it is. Then it begins asking one simple question. What is the next right step? Not the entire solution, just the next step. This approach creates something powerful: progress without panic. While others are overwhelmed by the size of the problem, the Stoic mind moves forward step by step. One decision, one action, one solution at a time. Slowly the storm begins losing its power. Not because the situation becomes easier, but because the mind refuses to become chaotic. This calm focus becomes an enormous advantage. In moments of crisis, clarity is rare, and those who possess it become the ones capable of solving problems. Leaders emerge in these moments, not through loud confidence, but through calm control. The Stoic mind becomes a center of stability. While emotions swirl around, the mind remains grounded. People begin noticing it. The person who is not panicking, the person who is thinking clearly, the person who is moving carefully instead of reacting wildly. This is the moment where emotional discipline reveals its greatest strength, because calmness during chaos is powerful, but maintaining that calmness requires deep control over the mind. And the storm does not end quickly. Pressure continues, voices grow louder, doubt appears again and again. The mind is tested repeatedly, and eventually the storm reaches its most intense point, a moment where everything demands an emotional reaction, a moment where control must be stronger than emotion. Because in that moment, the final test of Stoic mastery begins. The moment of absolute control. The storm reaches its highest intensity. Pressure surrounds every direction. Voices become louder. Problems feel urgent. Expectations begin closing in from all sides. At this point, the mind faces its most difficult challenge: react or remain in control. The emotional mind demands immediate action. Anger wants to release its energy. Fear wants to escape the situation. Frustration wants to break the tension. These urges feel powerful. They push the mind toward reaction. Many people surrender here. They raise their voice. They make rushed decisions. They allow emotions to lead the moment. But the Stoic mind recognizes what is happening. This is the moment where discipline must become stronger than emotion. The mind pauses, not long, just long enough to regain control. Breathing becomes steady. The noise around begins fading. Thoughts slow down. In that silence, something powerful returns: clarity. The situation is no longer a storm. It becomes a series of facts. What has happened? What can be done? What must be ignored? The mind sees the difference between noise and reality. Anger becomes unnecessary. Fear becomes unhelpful. Frustration becomes wasted energy. All that remains is focus. This is the power of emotional mastery. While others are overwhelmed, the Stoic mind becomes sharper. Decisions become precise. Actions become intentional. Each movement is guided by calm awareness instead of emotional impulse. And something remarkable happens in this moment. The chaos around begins losing its influence because chaos feeds on reaction. Without reaction, it weakens. The Stoic mind becomes like a mountain during a storm. Wind strikes it, rain hits it, thunder surrounds it, but the mountain does not move. Inside the mind, discipline stands firm. The years of practice reveal their purpose. Every moment of emotional restraint, every time the mind chose patience, every time reaction was replaced with observation. All of it leads to this moment, the moment where the mind becomes unbreakable. Not because emotions disappear, but because emotions no longer control decisions. This is what Stoic thinkers considered true freedom. Freedom from emotional slavery, freedom from impulsive reactions, freedom from allowing external events to control the mind. The storm slowly begins to fade, voices calm down, pressure begins losing its force, but something inside the mind has permanently changed. The person who once struggled with emotional reactions is no longer the same. The mind has crossed a threshold. It has learned what true control feels like. And once someone experiences this level of clarity, discipline becomes even stronger because the mind now understands something powerful. No external chaos is stronger than a controlled mind. And when this realization settles deeply inside, a new identity quietly forms. Not loud, not dramatic, but deeply powerful. The identity of someone whose mind cannot easily be shaken, the mind that cannot be shaken. After the storm fades, something quiet remains. Not excitement, not relief, but stability. The mind that once reacted quickly now moves with calm awareness. Situations that once created emotional chaos now appear clearer. Problems are no longer viewed as personal attacks, they are seen as events that require thought, patience, and disciplined action. This transformation changes the way a person moves through life. Where others react emotionally, the Stoic mind observes first. Where others panic, the Stoic mind slows down. Where others lose focus, the Stoic mind concentrates deeper. The difference becomes visible over time. People notice the calmness, they notice the steady reactions. They notice the ability to remain composed even when pressure rises. But the greatest change is invisible. It happens inside the mind, because emotional control creates something rare. Inner freedom. Most people live under constant emotional influence. Their mood controls their actions, their anger controls their words, their fear controls their decisions. Without realizing it, their emotions guide the direction of their life. But the Stoic mind breaks this pattern. Emotions are still present, they appear and disappear like waves, but they no longer control the direction of the mind. Instead, the mind decides how to move. This creates unbreakable discipline. Discipline that does not depend on motivation. Discipline that does not collapse under pressure. Discipline that continues working quietly, day after day. With this discipline, focus becomes sharper. Distractions lose their power. Arguments lose their attraction. Unnecessary conflicts fade into the background. Energy is no longer wasted reacting to everything. It is directed toward progress, toward action, toward purpose. The mind becomes like a calm river moving forward steadily, not rushing, not stopping, just continuing its path with quiet strength. And as the years pass, the results become undeniable. While others are exhausted by emotional battles, the Stoic mind continues building. While others are distracted by conflict, the Stoic mind remains focused. While others lose direction, the Stoic mind stays steady. This is the quiet power of emotional mastery, not dramatic, not loud, but deeply transformative. The mind becomes stronger than circumstances, calmer than chaos, more disciplined than impulse. And from this point forward, something fundamental has changed. The world may still bring pressure, people may still bring criticism, unexpected events may still appear, but the mind now carries a powerful advantage. It has learned the art of control, not control over everything that happens, but control over the one thing that matters most, the mind itself.